What is going on, guys? This is the Cloud9 podcast, season 4, episode 2, talking about the LEC 2022 summer split. And the standings are looking pretty interesting because now that it has been confirmed that the LEC will actually have 4 seeds for Worlds 2022, the playoff race is going to get a whole lot more crazier. You have some teams who are falling down the standings. You have literally just one team that's been consistently at the top with another team. And now we get to pretty much see who is now officially out of playoff contention. So we're going to have an interesting episode today going over the standings and everything that this also has to implicate for the rest of the LEC 2022 summer split. So let me actually make this a bit bigger right here, and let me actually scroll down right here. So before we go into that, I might be covering some stuff that happened in this show right here with Thorin, and I will dominate talking about some of the teams actually. A lot of the stuff that they had talked about for Fnatic and G2 were obviously definitely true. I mean, the stuff that I'm going to go over in like specific games with you guys will also be there as well. So yes, let's go through some of these teams right now. But with Europe getting 4 seeds for Worlds 2022, you got to factor in now there are some teams that are now falling in the standings. There are some teams that have also now been also searching up in the standings. Usually there are some teams that are predicted to do very well. They end up like starting out pretty bad, then they might actually be bad for that remainder of time, and then they might start actually performing better in summer, like we had Team Vitality, who had been performing very, very bad for the majority, if not the entirety of spring. And then now, toward like this week for the LEC 2022 summer split, we have them kind of actually getting a few wins together. They're actually on a 3-game winning streak right now. No Cole or Warren for today. I told Cole that we would be doing the show at 5 p.m. PST. I sent him the link, but if he's busy or can't join, then, well, guys, I guess I got to do it solo today. But how are you guys feeling today about the LEC right now? Let me just put in the basic stuff. Make sure to smash the like button right there. Just if you are stopping by, just make sure you guys, smash the like button. It's always greatly appreciated. All right, so getting through the standings right now. The standings look really, really, really competitive right now. It's just absolutely insane. I know a lot of people predicted that this would be a really close summer split, given the fact that in the spring split for the LEC, that took place. You got to kind of factor in a lot of these teams were like basically essentially one player upgrade away or one individual play in league away from getting a higher play standing, and then later on in playoffs being placed against a different team. Back during the LEC 2022 spring split, a lot of these teams were a lot more closer than a lot of people actually said. Like you had teams obviously like Rogue were definitely at the top. Rogue were definitely at the top last split because, Malrong was actually performing very, very well. And the team was pretty much essentially firing on all cylinders. But then now, when you look actually at the rest of the league, Rogue has kind of fallen off in these past couple of games. So where they're just making uncharacteristically bad mistakes consistently. Now, when you're specifically looking at the rest of the field, you have Fnatic, who's looked really, really bad with their super team. SK Gaming are not exactly an easy win, but it all really depends on basically if Gilius is actually going to be a player that doesn't run it down when he was playing Vi earlier on, this week when he played Vi and he completely gave over the game when he flashed in and then ended up dying. That was one of the plays that really stuck out to me. Then you also have Astralis, who kind of have been also not very good, but it's really only because Kabe and Janghyun have been a solid to okay bot lane. Xerxes had some pretty okay games, so that's really interesting, actually. Astralis to me don't even really look that good, but who knows? They might actually make playoffs, which is crazy because that's how close the standings are right now. Literally, there's just one game separating a lot of these teams from getting second to about like fifth right now. Because well, let's just start with Team BDS. Team BDS is actually a team that is now out of playoff contention. The team that they ended up facing this week was also they faced G2, but that game was a little bit more closer in the early game if you guys actually got a chance to watch that game. But then they ended up facing Fnatic as well. So they essentially had the hardest schedule right now for a team of that caliber to actually have gotten any wins. And let's be honest here, with ourselves, Team BDS really only had that one okay looking week. They literally had one okay looking week. Then a lot of people were just like simply overrating this team, going, they aren't actually really all that bad. No, they're fucking awful. Just because they beat G2 when G2 started slumping, that doesn't make them better than G2. Obviously, it was literally G2. We know are the better team. They started completely falling apart. Then after that, you also factor in that during that week, in BO1s, sure, you're gonna have, teams that, holy shit.
Shut up. BDS is amazing, right?
Give me a sec. Actually, you speak. I think I don't have my headset on. Oh my god.
Yeah, you do. What do you mean?
Give me a sec, guys.
Oh, you don't. Oh, you can't hear other people. Okay, well.
No, I can hear you. I just didn't have my headset actually have the audio going through my headset. Oh my god.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, Mad Lion, so yeah, this was expected. I mean, again, like, Niski, like, he's everybody's favorite to win MVP, and it's like, yeah, that's who I'd probably choose, but again, it seems like kind of like a cop-out, because it's just like for narrative sort of like reckless, like G2, it's like, yeah, he came in and kind of saved them, but they were always a great team. It was just Reeker was that horrendous, so it's like, obviously now, like, with a real mid laner replacing him, they look great, but is he really like the biggest factor to their wins though? Like, I don't know. Like,
I think so.
Wouldn't you say like Unforgiven has been better?
No, but Unforgiven showed that level of play last split though.
Yeah, but so has Niski on Fnatic last split. That's what I'm saying. Like,
was Niski as good on Fnatic last year as he's good on Mad Lions right now?
I don't know, but I'm just saying, isn't it more just like the team and that Reeker was that horrendous than Niski actually like performing like an MVP and being like the most valuable thing in games?
I think they simply had to literally play that style because they knew Reeker wasn't going to be as active as Humanoid on the map. But all right, let's start from the bottom of the standings and work our way up. So when I was previously talking about Team BDS, they had that one okay, barely okay looking week, and a lot of people were on Reddit going like, yeah, maybe they're actually not that bad. They almost beat Fnatic, they beat G2. It's like, guys, when you have a format like this, that's going to end up happening. There's going to be a random week in a split between spring and summer where a team as bad as them are going to look good. It's going to happen. You don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah, but in the first half, though, they did. They were, again, still D-tier team, but they did look better than SK. I mean, in the second half, now they obviously just look horrendous, but I still can't believe they made, like, no substitutions. And when the season's over, like, why not just try some other players out now? Like, why is X-Matty still here? I really don't get it, but, yeah. I have nothing to say about BDS besides Aggressivo, get him real team. That's it.
Like, I remember the show that Dominate and Thorin did. They had talked about that BDS had only actually ended up winning 2 games in a scrim set. That's fucking horrible,
Yeah.
guys. That's horrible. That's really bad.
That's like we gave Nuclear all this praise, but now he's just been like, again, I don't know if he's just given up or something, or if he's actually just like regressed because of his team, or I don't know. But yeah, and then Limit's obviously been bad. X-Matty bad.
Well, that Limit just came back, but I was never a huge fan of Limit anyway. I always thought he was below average anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I thought he was at least decent before, but I knew he would obviously be bottom tier, like with the rest of the supports, like coming up in this year.
Yeah. For me personally, right now, they had the one minor, really above average week. The one minor above average week between last spring and this summer. You know how many weeks of gameplay we've seen it from this horrible team? Like, let's be honest here. When it comes to the offseason, they're gonna do an entire rebuild. They're gonna get new coaches, they're gonna get new teams, players between their academy and their main team. Like, they literally bought a slot and just chilled, you know? Even though everyone says the person who owns BDS is really, really rich, but you know, we know through history of league, sometimes for at least more or less so the Western teams, just always building a super team isn't always going to guarantee you success.
And
but
having money doesn't mean they give enough, you know, care enough. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
I've also wanted to bring up the point that next year, or when we come to this offseason after Worlds, because guys, BDS is already going to look into offseason options. They're they can't make playoffs. They're finished. So literally, when we talk about this team for the remainder, like final 2 weeks, it really doesn't matter because their season's over.
Do you think Grabs will stick around?
I don't. Because I think they're gonna go through a full rebuild, and that probably means that Grabs would be gone because they're gonna see what Grabs did as a failure. That's how they would see it, or the owner of BDS would see it. You know, because that's just how I personally would think they would see it. But my thing here is, what is the real goal of what BDS was trying to do this split? Just pay a whole bunch of money, get inside the league, and then simply just do nothing, you know? Because if they really wanted to make a push for playoffs, they bench and get rid of Adam. They put him on the academy team. Made sense. Adam was completely running it down last split. Then after that, you have them bring up the academy top laner who played a bit better than Adam, but still nothing crazy. Then their best player, which is their jungler, also started playing really bad. Synchron started playing really bad this split, actually. He became a non-factor. Then Nuclear Int started actually inting a lot of their games, just started playing really, really egregious. After that, you had their bot lane. X-Matty was literally never good. He had a couple of decent games on Aphelios and Caitlyn, but so few far in between. Their supports just constantly, like, not constantly rotating out, but none of their support players are really anything top tier. Just a really badly structured, badly designed team. Like, I really don't even know if like all the players' styles complement any of this, really. That's just me. I really don't think any of these players are honestly that good anymore. Maybe Nuclear Int had a few decent performances when he was on Schalke, but he's not had any of those on BDS right now. Now, Syncroft looked good last spring split, you know, but this split he's not looked good, and neither really has the rest of the team. X-Matty's had a few better games, but you know, it's too late at this point. Like, we know by the time we get to the off season, which they're literally in the off season now. They're in the 2022 off season right now. They're gonna figure out how to pretty much, you know, rebuild their roster. They're gonna pretty much work on, you know, playing the rest of their games out. The rest of BDS games outside of week 6 they play Vitality, who's surging up right now. They play XL, who have been pretty hit or miss, but XL should end up, you know, defeating them. So you're factoring in they're going to end up going down 2 more games. Then after that, for the week 8 of the LEC 2022 summer split, they had to play 3 games, and they play Misfits, who are also kind of in this weird phase when they just got Zanzra, who's been playing a bit better, but Zanzra to me still isn't that good of a jungler, you know, but theoretically they should go 0-5 in their last games because they play Team Vitality, they play Excel, they play Misfits, they play Rogue, and they play Mad Lions. They literally could not have had the harder strength of schedule to finish out the season. So their final weeks have been consistent of pretty much the best teams in the league between G2, Fnatic, or like the top orgs, right? Because Fnatic's been playing really bad, but you guys get my point, right? It's been consistent of G2, Fnatic, literally Vitality, and you also have Excel. All the best teams, quote unquote, in the league are who they have to face, which is disgusting, right? But hey, that's what happens. So yeah, right now this team is just clearly gonna be in the rebuilding phase. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually rebuild their team with former past players.
I don't know what's up with my fucking internet today, but are we still on BDS or?
Yeah, I could see this team doing an approach of just grabbing a bunch of super players in this offseason. Like a bunch of super players.
I mean, there's going to be a bunch of people leaving, especially if Team Liquid blows up. I mean, like, are they really going to win the split? Probably not. They said that's at least one of their goals out in Worlds, and they might not even make Worlds, as I predicted, because look at the regular season that's been going on in LCS.
Yeah, guys, factor in, if you're watching right now, look at how close these games are. Beside Mad Lions right now, who are the best team right now in the LEC by far. I mean, Rogue and Mad Lions were in contention to be the best teams right now, but Rogue have definitely fallen off in these last 3 games. I don't know what's been going on with them. Team Vitality kind of having a late season surge, even though I'm still kind of skeptical about how good they really are. Excel started out really strong, but then it's so weird. Like also in traditional sports as well as LCS and LEC, LPL and LCK. There's always these random teams that'll start really strong, but then by the time the split ends, they don't come off as strong. So like that's just what Excel were. They started off really strong, and I was like, hey, this team is actually not that bad. I can see what they're doing in the game.
They are not the worst Western team ever. You need to go look at like Team Coast and H2K.
Oh, there was Origin for Europe a long time ago. Oh my god.
I mean,
I would say Origin's worse because they lost multiple games in the BO3 format. Oh my, that was bad. That was like bad actually. What's up, Ad and Abster? What's up, buddy? Unforgiven is the best ADC in the LEC by far. Definitely up there. Definitely. BDS is the worst Western team ever. Whew. They're gonna be up there. They definitely will be top 3.
No, Team Coast and H2K. There's nothing beating that. Sorry.
Plugin says Team Heretics seemed like a wealthy org. They spent $45 million on the LEC spot. Yeah. I mean, I hope they come in and are actually trying to challenge the league and be competitive with Mad Lions, Rogue, G2. Fnatic seems to have been a team that's been kind of falling more out of favor each year, but their results say otherwise. But yeah, that's my final bit on Team BDS right now.
Please just expand the 12 next year, please.
Like literally, guys, expect this team entire rosters wiped. If they keep Syncroft, I wouldn't be surprised with that, or maybe a few of the coaching staff members. But this team is going to go through a full rebuild. You think after finishing potentially 1-17, they will actually keep these players? You are on drugs if you think that. You are literally on crack if you think they are going to be keeping any of these players around at all. It's done. These guys are finished. Now, let's move on to SK Gaming.
Misfits is going to make Worlds. You heard it first.
Imagine a team that won't... Imagine an org that's not even going to be in the LEC ever again making Worlds 2022.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like that. I mean, that's kind of happened before. I mean, I know it's like they kind of like joined together, with Clutch Gaming that year, and or kind of rebranded like at Worlds as both Dig and Clutch Gaming, but still that technically happened.
Oh my god. All right, let's go to SK Gaming. So I know Warren's gonna get a little mad at us. I'm still not on this like SK Gaming hype train. Because this past week, it still shows you why they're really bad. Because they beat Astralis. Okay, cool. That's great. Like, that's honestly great. You beat Astralis.
Whatever, that's just... Astralis should have won that. I don't know what they were doing.
Like, is beating Astralis any type of, like, anything? Is that any, like, surprise? Astralis is not good. Yeah, their record is a bit better than it was last spring split and the splits before, but they're still not good. Like, outside of, like, Kabe and the new support, what's his name, Jang Hyun, right? Outside of them, the team's really not that good. Like Xerxes is like an all right, bare below average.
No, he's just
jungler.
having another Xerxes season where he plays great at the start and then slowly keeps going down from there.
Like Xerxes to me is just a below average jungler right now, and Vizichachi has the most solo deaths of any player in the league right now, which is disgusting as a top laner.
Listen, he's trying to break Contracts' record.
So right now with SK Gaming, like, yeah, they beat Astralis. That's cool. You know, like, yes, Certus has a few pop-off games. He's not a bad mid laner. You know, Jinax, people say, well, Jinax looks all right. He's been on this team for like 3 years. He looks all right. I mean, he's had like games in playoffs where he's popped off hard, but he's only really ever popped off hard when it has come to him playing like Urgot, you know? So in a playoff scenario, if they do make playoffs, they're not going to give him that. I would instantly ban that from him. He's a really good Urgot player. I think he's great as Urgot. He's got them some really good wins on that champion. But Jinax has been with this team forever, it feels like, and it's just, I don't know. He played mid lane for them once, and he rolls up to top lane. I just don't think he's just a middle of the pack top laner for the LEC. Gilius this week shows why you really can't bank on this guy, because people will like weirdly overrate Gilius but underrate him. Another, you know, middle of the pack jungler, maybe below middle of the pack. You know, Certus to me has had some really nice carry games. Actually, he's not been the weakest part, but are you really going to rely on Certus to really carry your games, actually? You know what I mean? Like, is he going to be the player you put all the resources into, all of the, you funnel all the gold into? You know, are you going to rely on this guy to make a big play? I'm not really sure about that. Jezu and Treats, I think Treats is still pretty good, but is Jesus another player where you're going to funnel all the resources into? You're going to give this guy fucking Aphelios, you're going to give this guy Zeri and funnel all the bot lane resources into this guy? I don't think so. And that's the thing, though. They really only have like one good player, and that's their mid laner, which is a player you want to have good on your team, which is your mid laner, because it has a huge impact on the map. But I don't think this team has a clear identity on how they really want to win the game. I think they got a lot of their wins because they simply just were a little bit ahead in certain games, and they just kind of, tested their limits. But just kind of feels like they did these really good outplays on teams that are about their level, the teams that they can scrim with. Because let's be honest here, I don't think any of the top teams are scrimming SK Gaming. I think the only teams that are scrimming SK Gaming are Team BDS and Astralis. So yeah, you can get away with that bait Gnar play that Gen X did a few last week, actually. Yeah, of course you can get away with that. You're playing against a really, really fucking bad team. They're not gonna punish you for any of that shit.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, I mean, Rogue's proving my point right now, which is that teams figured them out since late last split. They just still made finals because just barely squeaking by that fucking shit team they faced in the semis in their first best of 5. No, like Misfits or something.
Oh yeah, they played Misfits, Fnatic. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Something like that. That's the only reason why they even made finals. And then in like Fnatic and shit. And then and then in summer they only then won like 8 in a row because again other teams were. The rest of the league was a shit show, and they took advantage of it. So teams figured them out. It's just they were struggling, so they just couldn't beat them, even though they knew how to. And now that their teams are more figuring out, it's still kind of a fucking shit show right now. It's baffling, everything going on in fucking Vitality. But now that they figured it out more, now they're fucking losing 3 in a row. Don't look that good.
SK Gaming, yeah, that's my last thing with them. I don't. Are people really banking on SK Gaming and Astralis?
Oh yeah, they're not going to make playoffs, right? And they're going to make worlds.
Oh, SK Gaming making worlds. If SK Gaming make worlds, like what? 2014.
Gillis is going to be in the finals at Worlds, and he's going to get that Baron steal and win Worlds.
Oh my god! Like, are people really banking on Astralis and SK Gaming making playoffs? I mean, the playoff race right now is really tight. Really close. I mean, it's pretty, like, there's literally one game separating the teams that are tied for second. There's one game separating the teams tied for fourth. And then there's one game separating the teams tied for seventh. And then there's literally a game separating the team from 7th to 9th. So yeah, it's really competitive right now in the LEC. Going on to Fnatic, I don't really know what I can say about them anymore.
Okay, so this is all right. This is my opinion on Fnatic. Okay, next team. So Strawless. Let's talk about Strawless.
I really don't know what I could say about Fnatic. Actually, what can you say about Fnatic? I think I said everything last week. The team is just, I don't know. Honestly, I really
it's all
have
names,
no words.
nothing else. That's it.
Okay.
Again, that's Humanoid. I still think is great. He's just having an off split. I thought you guys were underrating him in spring. Yeah, I mean he's having an off split now. Okay, well,
how's that? What? Are you on drugs?
I thought he was better than Larson. No.
Are you on drugs?
No, it was mainly Larson's team, and he's proven in this. But now it's fucking shit in the bed. Already, I'd say he was like third, just behind like VTO and yeah, honestly, he might have been second. Like Caps was having a lot of off games. Honestly, that's what in the regular season. Obviously, he turned it around in playoffs, but in regular season, Caps was so inconsistent. Shit in the bed. He was the reason why G2 was just so bad.
Better than Humanoid last split, honestly. He had a lot of suspect games last split. Lots of them.
Perks I would put like third or something, but
like Fnatic. Okay, it really does feel like it's a bunch of players playing solo queue. That's what it really feels like right now. Like,
I mean, that or just Wonder and Razork were never going to be ever good, and people just signed them because of their names.
Like, let's start with the bot. Like Humanoid and not Humanoid. Upset and Hylissang. Hylissang's having a bad split. I don't think anyone should have this guy in. If Hylissang is going to be in MVP contention, that will break my brain hard with how people see this guy.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think he should have like tied for MVP last split, but that's just me.
Hylissang has been really bad this split. When this guy plays Nautilus, that is just, you should just ban that champion.
Yeah, but have you seen his Pyke, man? Come on.
Oh yeah, dude. I saw his Rakan too. You wanna see that again?
Yeah. Well, listen, he was just paying homage to Promise Q, a little tribute.
That's because right now it just feels like Hylissang is really, really massively underperforming, just trying to get anything going for the team. Humanoid is having a really bad split. Like even on
would you say his vision's been good or no?
Oh man, because how much is he actually warding? Because I don't think he wards a lot from the games that I've seen.
He gets called out a lot while warding.
Like even on Mad Lions, he would create like side lane pressure when he's playing Rise. He would try to actually be that mega carry. He's not been that for Fnatic at all. He's been really bad this past split. He was kind of bad on some games last split, but I think people were still kind of forgiving of him, even though I thought there was a lot of cracks in his gameplay. There were a lot of like Orianna games he had that were really suspect, a lot of Victor games he had that were really suspect, but this split has been one of those splits where the players just play bad that you think is going to be really good because he's not been good. Like he's really fallen off hard, and maybe it's just because he has bad synergy with Razork right now, and it just doesn't feel like they're on the same page, which could contribute to inconsistencies in the mid and jungle positions for them right now. And people were blaming Upset, and it's like, dude, what can Upset really do? His whole team is like falling apart, essentially. If Fnatic fans are celebrating winning over BDS, that's pretty bad because BDS is a free win for any team, actually. Like Fnatic's next strength of schedule after this week is they play SK Gaming. In theory, right now, I could see them losing to SK Gaming. I really do. They're really not playing good. They're really bad right now. They play G2 again. That's going to be pretty back and forth, but G2 have also been pretty hit or miss.
BDS.
No, that was a stomp game. That was a stomp on their part.
They struggled against BDS. What are you talking about? In the later portion, Fnatic stopped them, but
I mean, I don't think I was ever concerned with them losing that game. That's just me personally. But
the fact that it was even that close,
it was. I did not see it that way. Fnatic play Astralis. Like all of these games that Fnatic have to play up against. Is anyone really like confident Fnatic is going to beat all of these teams? There's a very real chance, guys, they don't make playoffs. And if they don't make playoffs, they don't make worlds, okay? This is a super team on paper that was constructed last offseason to be arguably contending to win splits and go to Worlds and do some damage at Worlds. But right now, they're just doing damage to their own fucking brand with having these players because I just don't know. Like, what can Upset really do with a team like this, you know? Because, like, you know, Upset's been on some pretty bad teams for most of his career. Some that have started really strong, but they end up falling off. It's always teams with Upset that start off really strong, but then just kind of fall apart. I'm not saying it's him, but it always tends to happen. Remember when he was on those Schalke rosters? They would start off like winning a lot of games, and then just start falling off, you know? Razork has been pretty awful. I'm pretty sure that's not debatable. That guy's been fucking trash most of spring. He was trash most of this split. No synergy with his support, no synergy with his mid laner. Just completely, just doesn't even feel like the same player that I watched last year. Just completely feels like a player where he's just running around, just trying to make anything happen. Like, even when he ganks for Wonder and he tries to set up plays in top lane, it doesn't really ever feel like they're on the same page. Wonder is just there. I don't really know what Wonder is actually trying to do. It just feels like he's just there. The team right now currently just feels like a bunch of players just playing solo queue. And I like, they had a okay win against BDS where they turned it on, you know, and got a massive goal lead and beat them, but that's against BDS, so you should kind of expect that, you know?
Well, I mean, I think if they subbed him Bean, then it could improve.
Oh, just have Upset say, yeah, the wife wants sex today. I can't play it again.
Well, listen, how many Worlds games has Upset won in his career?
Well, he won 6-0 the last Worlds, I heard.
No. How many games has Upset won at Worlds?
6.
Mm-mm.
He beat RNG. He beat Hanwha. He beat Yep. He beat TSM at Worlds, from what I heard.
Okay, yeah. So 0. Now, how many games has Bean won at Worlds?
0.
1.
Oh yeah, I forgot they won against PSG Talon. Oh yeah, I forgot.
No, it was like RNG actually or something.
Oh yeah, we'll see it's RNG. Yeah.
Yeah, so hey, just put Bean in. You know, he's better.
Oh my goodness! But realistically, guys, there should be no faith in this team right now. There is 0 faith in this team. They're actually performing potentially even worse than TSM if you look at the holistic view of how the roster has been constructed. You know, like looking at how they're constructed versus how they've been playing, this is even worse. You know, I don't know. I don't know what else more I could say about this team. They're just playing bad. Hylissang's been uber mega running it every game.
Yeah, again, Upset's literally the only person I'm still impressed with. Again, I feel bad for him. Get this guy a team. I can't believe this guy's gonna not play at Worlds again, even though he's really been a top 2 ADC in the league for ages now. But but Ryan, what he said though, I mean, do you think there is a possibility though that it is like a self-made, like causing some of the issues?
I don't think so. I think it's just the players are just playing bad. There's no way, dude. Yeah. Like right now, did he come into the split thinking that Humanoid, who was like the best mid in the LEC last year, would play this bad? He can't do nothing with that.
Well, no, you know? He's just really toxic, man. As Adam said, where is that guy, by the way? How's he doing?
Oh yeah, you know, getting paid below minimum wage in the ERLs.
Yeah, fucking bastard.
Like Razork was a top 3 jungler last year. Coming into this split, you think like, okay, yeah, that on paper that looks pretty good.
Top 3? Really? Are you sure?
At least top 4. At least top 4. At least.
Maybe like number 5 at best. I mean.
Oh yeah, I forgot you hate people like Razork. He's German. I forgot you hate the Germans.
Wait, are you idiot? He's like he's from Spain. You dumb fuck.
They all talk the same, dude. Come on, stop it.
You know, the thing is, when we know MSK isn't being ironic with this, he actually just doesn't fucking know.
So, like, Hylissang's always pretty much been a coin flip player, but he's always been pretty much one of the best supports in the LEC. This summer split and the 2021 LEC spring split are the 2 splits I've noticed where he's been playing just egregiously bad. Like, what can you really do? And plus, being an ADC right now, with how currently the game has been running, makes it even more like you have to be pretty much on point with how you're moving around the map, how you're actually trying to engage with what you want to do in a team fight. When you see Humanoid and Razzler play with each other in terms of like trying to go after a gank, doing it mid, trying to fight a skirmish, it's all like indecisive. The players, both of them, don't really know when one wants to go in, when one wants to go out. Just bad gameplay. If they miss playoffs, I'm not surprised, honestly. And if they miss playoffs, their offseason is starting right at that moment. Now, because there's a real chance they could finish. Okay, so let's see. They play against SK and they play against G2. So if they go 0-2 this week, which is a very big possibility, if they go 0-2 this week, guys, they will actually be 6-9. Then they would have to win every single game in the Super Week in order to basically
I don't know. Let's see. Who does X? There's a possibility. Okay, well, XL does play BDS, so they'll probably win that. But they've been on a decline, so there's a possibility that they could honestly miss playoffs. And there's always the possibility, obviously, Misfits with them on paper, and they're overachieving right now. So they have some openings, but G2, I'm sure they're better than like Astralis and stuff, possibly still if they can pull it together.
Dude, are they? Their gameplay looks bad.
I'm saying if they can pull it together. You're the one who hated on Astralis, bitch. I said they had a chance, and you're like, nah, they're bad.
That's not, dude, they're in the actual game. They look like shit. They still are really bad, actually.
Yes, but compared to the rest of the league.
All right, I'm gonna get a chair.
Again, like seriously, I want to know why Vitality is playing well when we get to
we'll talk about that. Yeah, because that's
I will say though, I do think like Alfari and Haru has improved a lot, but
I think that's been the biggest batch of copium from a lot of people right now with like the recency bias with this team. And I'm not faithful in this team either. It's like, they're playing good right now, but are you really confident in them?
Like again, like 80% of their wins is the same.
Literally
reason.
Other teams running at them and trolling.
80% of their wins is like, remember Immortals in 2020 spring with the Iker roster, how they somehow got like 8 wins and almost made playoffs, even though they were dog shit, and it was every single win was because of the other teams. That was like 80% of their wins, and then their more recent wins is people like Alfari turning it around a bit, I would say.
Let's go to one of the Misfits games.
And Karze has turned it around a bit, I guess.
So I want to show you guys one of these Misfits games, because I know everyone was really big on Misfits right now. Yeah, like, they benched Schlachton, and they brought in Zanzura. I don't really think Zanzura's been that good. Zanzura has a really horrible win rate on his champions. Egregiously bad. He gave him Poppy. How hard is it to play Poppy?
Zanzara isn't good, but neither was Schlachton. But at least,
like, I get it. They have to make some change. I understand that.
Yes, but Zanzara, though, like, again, while he isn't good at all, like, he can be serviceable in the right meta, and he had like moments on Astralis. It's just like, and remember, it was Astralis and his shitty lane. So how much of that and getting like caught out in the jungle and that I can agree with, was like, really his team. And, we've seen it now. And, he's been on the champions in this meta, with, like, Poppy and stuff. And besides even in the first game, even though he died, like, 5 times and didn't get any kills, I mean, he was serviceable. Again, like, unlike Schlachton, he was kind of, like
this.
Just
how was Zanzura a really good jungler when look what Gilius just did. Look at this shit. This is borderline running it down.
What do you mean, man?
This is running it down pretty hard. Is Zanzura actually really good, or was Gilius just brain dead? Look at what this guy does. He's
it's both. It's both.
Look, E flash in. Oh no! He's like, fuck.
See. He got him. He's got him. Wait, heal up. Let's go, baby.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy's face. Like, okay, I'm actually running it down. He literally lost his brain.
Zanzara was like fucking laughing.
Well, like that's the thing. Was Zanzara playing well this week, or was the other junglers' brains just like actually turned off? They literally went to the floor.
Again, it's both. He wasn't. I wouldn't say he was playing good, but
it's not like they could give him any other jungler. He was only on Poppy the whole time anyway.
But again, MSK's serviceable in this meta, and that's better than Schlachton inting his ass off and being a ward on like Lee Sin.
Hot take: Schlachton would be MVP in the LCS. Now I'm not one of those people.
Again, it was a smart pickup, and that's what Golden Guardians wanted with River in the meta of him to just play on the save champs. Like, okay, he's better than
And they
Pride
sure got
Stalker.
that this week, remember?
He's better than Pride Stalker just doing nothing, inting on Zed in this meta right now. That's
Mhm.
bad for him, and just trying to pull out his pocket picks like Whippo. But unlike Golden Guardians, it's actually been working so far, yeah. Although the teams they face definitely aren't. Well,
I'm not
what
confident.
was the first team they faced, actually? Wasn't it like
Misfits?
G2 or something?
Misfits faced Rogue, and Rogue threw against them. Rogue were actually winning this game. Rogue were winning the game, and then later on, Misfits just turned it around. The same shit that happened with them last split. I am not confident in Misfits. They are a horror. They are a bad team. That's a bad piece of shit team you got right there.
Hey, I'm not denying that they're overachieving, but I did predict at the start that they would overachieve. You know, I'm just...
just yeah, like I'm just saying.
I did say they would be top 3 in spring. Were they top 3 in regular season? Yes or no?
Yes, sure. But that means also what the like if Rogue guys, please tell me if you think Rogue is bad. How are Misfits better? And people say Misfits are actually just an underrated team. People are just overlooking them. Really? How are they the better team when Trimby loses his brain?
Man, listen, you just don't understand how good MRSA is.
Look at this. If Rogue with the team with the much better players are playing
Let's go, MRSA. Look at this fucking badass play. You just a hater.
If you're playing this bad with a team with much better players, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. What is this?
Let's go, Neon. Run.
There you go. Go. God. Oh, my Lord. Also, guys, if you watched the DK versus Liv Sandbox series last night, I saw the worst Zeri ultimate ever. It was Promise Q level.
Wait, Liv Sandbox versus who?
Oh, damn one. It was the worst Zeri ult ever. Dude, no one was touching him for deck dom, and he just Zeri ulted. No one was touching him. He just hit R. I was like, okay, you're on crack. But sure.
Yeah, just their bot lane again. They were great last season in LCK, but this season, like, they're not just not a good fit. They're just not a good fit. I thought they would be though, because again, they were a solid bot lane that like you would just leave on their own and they would just play whatever. But I mean, they've just been. So I don't know why they're not a good fit for Damn One, where they then focused on the other 3 lanes, but yeah, they just haven't, I guess.
So that's my thing with Misfits right now, guys.
How the Zanzara Misfits, whatever.
I'm just not confident in Misfits still. Like, maybe if they can win a few more of their games this week, maybe. I don't see them making playoffs. I really don't.
Malrain and Gillies were just inting hard on those champs there.
Misfits, they face Astralis, which is going to be a lot more close than people might think. And then they face... Oh, yeah, they're getting their asses blown out by Mad Lion.
That's actually kind of going to be a match of the week, I would say. Misfits versus Astralis. That's going to be very...
That has some
very
huge playoff
interesting
implications.
And important.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it with Fnatic for right now. Astralis, I don't really want to speak with it. I think this team is just bare minimum, below average.
I mean, I don't think Jonuns has been as surprising as like you guys would say either, though. I think it's mainly just like the more basic support chance where he just presses a couple buttons. He makes plays.
That's what they need.
I'm not saying he's been bad. No, he's been solid so far, and that's definitely with the expectations and under the circumstances. But I'm just saying, while he definitely tries, it's mainly just a chance where he just presses like a couple buttons like Pike and stuff that he's been good at, and even then you can see a lot of mistakes from him. I mean, whatever, he's been better than other supports in this fucking league. He's been better than fucking Hylissane.
People were like, "Oh my god, he's been better than Promise Q." If your bar is that low, sure.
Okay, listen, I'm sure MSK on support is better than Promise Q.
Hell yeah, I can play a mean York support, right? Holy shit.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, with Astralis right now, I really don't think they're going to make playoffs, guys. I really don't. It's possible. I mean, the bare minimum of wins you need for Astralis to make playoffs for teams that are like right now between Fnatic and Astralis are, 9-9? Or anything over 9 wins pretty much guarantees you playoffs. Pretty much, if you have 10 wins like Mad Lions right now, you're pretty much guaranteed being playoffs. If Rogue can pull through 2 wins this week and start to get a mini little win streak going before playoff starts, that'll be good for them. Rogue face Mad Lions this week, so that win streak is getting stretched again, and SK Gaming. So, yeah, I don't know about that right now. But in terms of Astralis, I'm just not really that confident in this team either. And it's really just mostly based around gameplay. I don't see Vizichachi doing very well against any top laner at any point. All he can really play is like barely Orin. Then you have Xerxes, who's been a below middle of the pack jungler, like I've mentioned before when we started the show. I think that Dejor has been an okay, serviceable mid laner. He's been about just below Certus, actually. Maybe if Certus was on Astralis, that'd be a bit better for them, actually. Kabe and Janghoon have been a pretty solid middle of the pack bot lane, but that's it. They're just a noticeable star player on this team that gets you kind of like, okay, this person's just going to take over the game. There's no one really on this team that is just going to take over the game, maybe outside of Kabe in a certain situation where he's getting funneled that much gold as an ADC. But that's just me. Misfits, like I spoke about before, I really don't think a lot of people understand how bad this team actually is and a lot of things they're doing. They're getting some free, easy wins. They've been getting free, easy wins all fucking year. Yeah, you brought in Zanzara. That's great. He's not been good, but then again, since the other players know that he's not going to be like an actual threat, they don't really focus him, so he gets to perform a bit better. And yeah, he did win the games for them. I'm not saying he didn't, but it's just the manner in which they won. That doesn't breed you confidence in this team at all. You know, him missing Smite the way he just did, like in the game we just saw, when he's missed smiting like that, that's pretty concerning right there. And they're the ones winning the game too.
Yeah, no. He's, again, I'm not saying he's a good jungler. He's still bottom of the pack, but I'm just saying in the meta, he's at least somewhat serviceable.
And that's it with the teams right here. And now we're going to go on to G2. So here's my thing with G2, guys. They're playing, like Jankos has been playing pretty bad. Nearly all of the split, Jankos has been pretty bad. Normally, Jankos is a top 3 jungler in the league. But this split in particular, he's been just bad. He was also pretty decently bad when they had Reckless last summer split back in 2021. He's been relatively pretty awful between these two splits, respectively. I'm not saying he can't bounce back in these later few weeks for the LEC, but he's had an uncharacteristically really bad summer split for this year. Like, it's been really bad for them. Broken Blade's been running it down every game. Caps's been pretty middle of the pack. You know, the bot lane with Targamas and Flackid. I still think Flackid's not as bad as people are making him out to be. And I still think you can definitely still play through the guy, but they're really not playing through him. Targamas hasn't really been the playmaking support that you see on other teams. Like, you see Trimby making plays on the map to get things going. You see Janghoon forcing plays on the map. You see
I don't think he's been put in a position like that with what they've been giving him in drafts. I think if they gave him more stuff like other teams, like I think when they have given him stuff like Pike, he's shown it. I think it's just the team that then lets him down. Outside of the odd time he's picked off, that doesn't really cost him anything. Like, I just think it's
because this week wasn't he on Braum? This week he was on Braum or something like that, and Braum is definitely support. You can roam and make plays.
I mean, they're usually just been putting him. I mean, yes, but like by that logic, like every support, like it makes plays. Like Braum is not.
Yeah.
Out of all the champs in fucking the game, Braum is like one of the lowest ones. Like, but again, like what if? Like again, why don't they? Like, is the what's the champ's name again? Who was that one fucking champ? What's the one support champ? Like the Crow. What was that name?
Oh fuck! Jeez, that's gonna be descriptive.
No. You know,
like I would say if you want to have Targamas make plays on the map, give him Nautilus, give him Rakan, something. They keep giving this guy like Braum and like Lulu. It's like their support can't even make plays around the map. You can't. Not with the champions he's given. I mean, you can, but it's gonna be really, really bad. Then you functionally have Jankos and Caps who've been not playing very well, even as a duo.
Yeah, sorry, Fiddlesticks, right?
Fiddlesticks.
Like, is he in the meta?
No, definitely not.
Okay, well, if he was, then I think that would be a champ that he would be good at. But
like, because people know about G2 that if Jankos and Caps really aren't getting the team going, they don't really play very well. That was the thing that I mentioned before the spring split started. These are like all the concerns I have with the team going into the spring split finally come to pass. As I said, all of those issues I said, I'm like, well, if they don't really play through Jankos and Caps, who do they play through? I mean, some could say Broken Blade, but that's never been like a consistent win condition for the teams that had Broken Blade. I mean, you can play through him. Has that been a win condition that you can essentially play through? I'm not too sure, because with Broken Blade, there has to be like certain champs in the meta for him to really pop off. Aatrox, Aurelia, champions like Camille, but he hasn't really been playing well on anything. Even when he's gotten counter picks, he's not played well on any counter picks. And even if he's given just basic tanks, he's not played well on even basic tanks, people. Okay, it's like, holy shit. Then Flakkid has been just regarded just as a player they just kind of just leave off on an island with Targamas not making plays around the map, not being proactive, Jankos having an off split, Caps having a meddling split, more off or on, give or take how you look at it. So yeah, the entire G2 team, they're not playing well. They're just about as bad as Fnatic, really. They have the one extra win, but they're playing just about the same level, actually. They lost to Team Vitality in a pretty embarrassing fashion. Like, even against Team BDS in this game, this was also very bad from them. They were losing this game against Team BDS, actually. Like, Smatty being on Aphelios, but somehow later on, they ended up actually they started turning the game around. Actually, Caps was on Swain, and there's been this massive Sivir priority, recently. Sivir actually got buffed on a few patches ago, so I was kind of wondering, like, yeah, Sivir will most likely come back into the meta. Sivir's like one of those champions where, if you need some utility in your composition, then you could just pick her. Obviously, she provides a lot with certain teams.
Yeah, and like any comp, really.
So, like, they were losing this BDS game. The fact that BDS couldn't even close this game out. Imagine if two of BDS's only wins came from just beating G2, the LEC 2022 Spring Split champion. That would have been completely ridiculous. But Xmatty ended up getting caught out, which pretty much at that moment in these games, when a team like as bad as BDS are winning against a team like G2, when you have a player like Xmatty getting caught out like that, you kind of go like, okay, they can make their way back to this game. As long as you carefully flank and actually get into the back line, like what Jankos is trying to do right there, then you could probably start winning the game. Because if you're in a position like that, Xmatty really shouldn't be there doing that. Also, Lulu would say, I like the comp that G2 has, but you kind of factor in they had a really meddling week. They almost lost this game to BDS again, because they already previously lost to them earlier in the split. Then they actually got destroyed by Team Vitality. So, I know people came into the split going like, well, G2, they didn't have an MSI hangover. They started 4-0. Just because you don't start a hangover initially from MSI from the first few weeks doesn't mean you won't eventually have it. Just because they didn't start off bad doesn't mean they weren't going to end up falling into the same, point where they start playing bad. Evil Geniuses, I think, Evil Geniuses and T1 are the only teams that, to me, didn't have a MSI hangover. G2 are not only just having a MSI hangover, they are also playing bad. They are also just playing uncharacteristically bad. So, also, that was the thing coming into this year that I talked about earlier in spring was, who do you really play through if Jankos and Caps really aren't getting the team going? Flakkid and Targamas don't seem to be those players. And Broken Blade has been playing so bad, you can't really bank on that guy getting you kind of anywhere during certain games. That's why I was concerned with this team coming into spring. But now the stuff I said in spring is now coming to fruition in summer. And I don't really know how you fix these issues right now. I really don't, honestly. But that's just me personally. One of the match of the weeks. No, the match of the week this week was Team Vitality versus G2. The whole game was pretty much just Perks going around the team as on Ari and having a really good game on Ari. Perks, to me, has been one of the more MVP candidates that split outside of Niski. Honestly, I think he's performed very well. So if you pick Perks or Niski, I'm pretty sure I won't be mad,
honestly, if
if Vitality gets second at the end of the regular season, I might just have to pick him over Niski because, like, what else does Vitality really have been doing?
Yeah, like a lot of these games, guys, that Vitality have won. Not outside of this one. This one they actually played pretty well. The games that they've been winning, a lot of these teams have really been just giving it up to them. Why would G2 fight a 4v5 knowing that their ADC is bot? What is that? Like, that is ridiculous, man. All right, but I don't have to fucking watch that garbage. All right, so that's my G2 discussion right there. Excel. Excel to me are falling apart. Not say falling apart. Excel are kind of losing their mojo, you know? Like, this team had a defined style and how they want to play the game from when we saw them start the LEC 2022 summer split. They started off really strong, but then they've just been pretty much faltering the latter half of the split. You know, they're on a 2-game losing streak. They ended up losing to, you know, Team Vitality, who are starting to have like a late minute surge in the season. They also ended up dropping to Mad Lions. You know, Mad Lions is expected for them to drop a game like that because, you know, Mad Lions are the best team right now. They play G2 this week. That's going to be really, really, really close in terms of like the standings right now for the split. Then you also have them playing up against Team BDS. They have a free win against BDS. So on the rest of the split, they face Rogue, they face SK Gaming, and they face Astrala. So they have an easier strength of schedule for them where they could end off potentially like 4-1 in the latter half of their games. But I mean, you got to kind of factor in for this team to really win. They have to have either Patrick on a hyper carry, Nuke Duck taking over the game, getting together with Mark Kroon to make plays on the map, or Finn not feeding. A lot of the games that they've even lost was Finn basically running it down and feeding. Even in their Excel game, Finn completely just got gapped by Alfari and was also getting camped by Haru as well. So I hope this team can bounce back a little bit. I don't want to be fully off this team yet, but I do think this team is definitely struggling with how they won the game initially.
I mean, honestly, if there was a team that deserved to just fall off like that, it's XL. Fuck them.
Oh, Lord. Holy shit. After that, there's some recent news today about one of their people that I don't want to get into at all. That is bad.
Wait. What recent news?
Oh, that's bad. Whew, it's pretty bad.
Wait. I don't know. Wait, DM me. I actually didn't hear anything. Wait.
Oh, sorry. There was Vin Diesel outside. Here was their game against Vitality. This shit was just so cringe to look at. The way fucking Finn, you know, lost the 1v1 against Alfari. You know, it's so crazy seeing Alfari have a good game like this because he really hasn't had like pretty much any good games from spring into summer. And now all of a sudden he decides he wants to actually carry the game. Now, I don't know why Finn would really contest and challenge for this wave, considering the fact that he knows he has no flash and considering he knows that they're going to potentially try to repeat gank him. It's like, why would you really contest that? Actually, then they chose to swap the bot lane with the top lane because, you know, they wanted to make sure that he wouldn't fall further behind. But the damage is kind of already done. If Gnar is kind of that ahead against GP, he'll just end up poking him out. He'll get side lane pressure. But if it's the other way around, then it's obviously going to be a bit better for GP because you could just poke the Gnar out and then have the side lane pressure. Then the bot lane of Excel die top side because Haru was putting a lot of resources into, you know, getting Alfari ahead. Maybe Haru realizes that he can't really play through perks the way he thinks he can, so he'll just play through, top side actually. But yeah, Team Vitality having a late game. I
looked up what was going on. Fuck. Well, I can't say I'm surprised though. This guy's a fucking idiot. This stupid fucking bastard. Him and that other guy, like Forrest or whatever his name on Twitter, but just fucking clowns. And the same people who like tried to defend Nightblue when he got that guy banned for just playing a different strategy in solo queue.
All right, fuck him.
So
I really like the post people are sharing that he made. Wow, I really like that black guy meme he did. Wow.
Ooh.
With the news.
So that's my thing with Team Vitality. Okay, right now the recency bias around Team Vitality is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of these teams right now in the LEC I'm not really too hot on, except for like Mad Lions. But I'll say this: I think a lot of people are putting too much recency bias in Team Vitality. Like, they've been playing bad since spring of this year. Week 1. They've had like maybe 2 weeks. 1 week in spring that looked good, and 1 week in this split that looked good. And people are sitting there going like, well, they're actually really good now. No, that's not how that works. They've only shown you 3. They've only won 3 games right now consistently. And this is the highest amount of game wins they've had all year. 3. They've had 3 fucking wins strung together this entire year. They've been really bad this year, actually. I'm not too into this team right now. I'm still super skeptical about them. Yeah, they had that really dominant win against G2, and they also ended up beating Excel. But my thing right now is, given how bad they've been pretty much all year, it's really hard for anyone who's been watching it to go like, I think this team has actually got it all together. This team has just finally figured it out. No, I think they came to the conclusion that we have to really do basic, simple shit in order to win. That's just me personally. I think the team has realized if we don't really do just basic shit being playing Ari and just roaming around the map, picking Trundle and picking Gnar and just having Haru camp top lane. They need some strategy. They can't play through their bot lane. Their bot lane's fucking horrible, The next team is definitely Rogue. Rogue have definitely kind of start falling off. Maybe is it teams figuring them out? Or after that one loss to G2, they just started completely realizing maybe we're not as good as we think. Rogue is just one of those teams that just get into their heads way too much. I personally don't know what to really think of them right now with them losing all of these games. Because right now, even last week, they ended up beating Fnatic, which was impressive, but that was really, really close game, actually. That Baron steal from Malrong was, really game-saving. They ended up losing to G2. After they lost to G2, they simply just started losing to just pretty much the rest of the teams. Like, that one G2 loss mentally broke them. I don't know if I believe that. I think Rogue has always had this playstyle you could have simply just exploited. Teams just really never did it. Now, it doesn't really matter if a team has an exploitable playstyle. It's all based around if the teams can actually do it. And now, looking at week 7, they play Mad Lions, which, definitely Mad Lions should definitely beat them. Then after that, they play SK Gaming. They should beat SK Gaming, but right now it's very up in the air.
Making top 2.
Fuck, I don't know, honestly. If they finish 4th, I'm not even surprised right now.
I mean, they can easily make top 2. I mean, XL are falling. G2 isn't playing very good. Misfits is Misfits. Rogue has been figured out. Like, who else is there?
Yeah, like, Rogue could simply still finish 2nd. If they really push for a lot of these later games in the split, these last 5 games, Rogue could finish 2nd. They could, because their last games are against Mad Lions, SK, XL, BDS, and Team Vitality. So, realistically, if they can string together 5 more wins, they could finish the split 13-5, which is pretty respectable. But yeah, I also agree with Malrong has been just not very good this split, and I think it really has to do with that playstyle that was really volatile last split. And I even said, hey, this playstyle is probably not going to be super sustainable, but if that's a playstyle that he needs to play in order to get this team going, in order to win games, you should keep that playstyle. I think having this guy play a playstyle that's not really something he's even really good at has somewhat detrimented this player. I think playing that hyperactive gank heavy playstyle was his playstyle, and I think that's what really surprised a lot of people, and I think that's what got them a lot of wins the last split, was just playing completely out of his mind. But then, this split, he's reverted into some player that's been reserved. I don't think he's really good with that reserved playstyle. I think he's better as a gank heavy focused jungler. I think that is the playstyle they should have Malrong, play. I don't think Comp and Trimby are bad. Like, I think they're still one of the best bot lanes in EU. Larson has had an uncharacteristically okay-ish split. Guys, when we do all pro teams for this split, I don't know who am I choosing for like a lot of these players. Larson's not been that good, really. Otawamne's not been that good, honestly. Like players on Rogue, you expect to be like at the top of the league because Rogue has been traditionally a team that's finished either second or first with an impressive record. They finished with an impressive record since they didn't have that one really bad roster with Sencooks on it. They finished with records of like 14-4, 15-2, shit like that. It's kind of interesting to see like how far this team has really come, but it's also interesting to note that I'm pretty sure they're still making playoffs because they're still in a favorable position. They're still 2 wins ahead of some teams. They're still 1 win ahead of other teams that they need to be ahead of. But I'm not really too certain of how they're going to perform in playoffs. I think they'll just finish top 2. They won't win the split. I don't see them winning the split at all. Because remember, the team that gets first place in the split auto qualifies to Worlds because LEC has 4 seeds this year. So keep that in mind, okay? Then that's it from Rogue right now. I hope they can bounce back this week. It looks like they'll have that bounce back win that they're going to need. But it's not set in stone. Like SK Gaming aren't exactly a free win because teams don't really know what to expect from them because they play in such a weird 1 week they're super aggressive, 1 week they're really passive, 1 week they are half aggressive, half passive. I don't know personally. All right, so finishing off the standings with Mad Lions. Mad Lions are definitely, the best team right now, honestly. They've definitely been picking it up, most of the games. See, Niski has had a really, really nice comeback into the league. I'm glad. He definitely has been playing really well. I thought Niski was the MVP of the LCS 2020 spring split, even though everyone was choosing Blabber. It's like, dude, Niski has definitely been a player.
Yeah, that was a fucking joke. Niski should have won that.
Yeah, I think we both had Niski as our MVP. How was Niski not the MVP? The junglers always look better around him.
Niski was all across the fucking map that fucking split. Like, what?
He played so well, and people chose Blabber, and I'm like, oh my god, how is Blabber?
People are so fucking... There's so much bias for junglers.
Like, literally, look at Blabber right now on Cloud9 with Jensen. Does Blabber have the exact same effect?
But the second time, though, where he won MVP, I could at least understand, even though it's dumb, because literally there was, like, nobody that split who deserved MVP in NA, so I could at least say, okay. But, like, even Alfari didn't. He was grossly overrated on Team Liquid, but, God, that split, though, that was some fucking bullshit.
Yeah, the split where Cloud9 were super dominant. People don't understand. Niski coming into Mad Lions made them extremely a whole lot more better. The same effect that Abadaga had on 100 Thieves last split. When you notice a good mid laner affect the team that hard, you can see the difference in their gameplay. Yeah, they also griefed right here, giving Humanoid 3 kills. Even when they griefed this team fight and gave Humanoid 3 kills, which you shouldn't do because that can be definitely exploited by a lot of the more better teams around the world if they go to Worlds. Don't do that. They definitely still won. It goes to show you how bad Fnatic really is. Like, their Ahri got a triple kill from a horrible team fight that Mad Lions actually did, and they still ended up losing. Good charm. Great charm. Aloye definitely has, become a jungler. That's been a person you put more of your faith into. Unforgiven's been the best ADC this split. I don't think it's really been close. Unforgiven and Kaiser definitely have been building up their synergy more. I think it's been something that you can't really dispute. You also have Armut. Armut's only really good on like a few champions, but if you put him on those few champions, he'll perform pretty well on them, give or take how the game is really going. Mad Lions, I wouldn't say are a perfect team, but right now for the LEC, they are the best team. They're playing the best around the map. They still have this really heavy skirmish style that can be definitely punished, and I don't really know why teams haven't really punished that, and I don't really know why Fnatic didn't really punish that in this game as well, but they're mentally distraught anyway. They're probably going like, damn, why is this team fucking inting into us? It's like, what the fuck? But that's my opinion on Mad Lions right now. They're definitely performing the best for any team in the LEC right now, but there is a few holes in their gameplay as well. All right, now time for predictions.
I mean, do you think Mad will win the split?
Shit, fuck.
I mean, Niski would be. I'm not counting Broken Blade because of that illegal season with that illegal split
season.
with that illegal split with TSM that should have been DQ'd. But so not counting him, I mean, Niski would be the third player in history to win both an LCS and LEC title, right?
I would love if Niski won for Mad Lions. I would love if Mad Lions win. Do I see it happening? Just depends on how playoffs goes. It really just depends on who they're facing and how their seeding is. Because if they're gonna get first place, they're gonna get the bye obviously into the other round, and then they'll face the winner of the previous round before they get to them. I hope they have a chance. Imagine if Mad Lions win 3 splits. That'd be pretty crazy. And like, I don't know why there's not more Mad Lions fans. They've definitely proven they can win titles in the LEC.
Yeah, I thought there would be, but I thought from like they were right out of the gate, like surprised, shocking people. To like, why is there not more fans of Mad? I don't get it.
Yeah, like maybe people aren't exactly. Maybe people think it's just a fluke that they've won 2 titles and they want to see a more consistent.
I don't get it. It's like these orgs that like join from like soccer franchises. Is like you would expect them to have fans, obviously, like there was Bombers and Oceanic, which was my favorite team until they left in that league. They had like none though, and even though they were winning all the time, and then Schalke made finals in like their first year in LEC, and they're from a popular soccer franchise or football, whatever you want to call it. But they had like none ever, and now Mad Lions, it's the same deal. It's like I thought they would have more.
Rogue have more fans. But they haven't won shit in the league. Isn't that weird?
In their dog shits first split, they had more fans.
Maybe it's just social media. Maybe it's just the social media for Mad Lions. I don't really think the Mad Lions social media has been that good.
From them in social media, so
yeah, like Mad Lions literally lost their best player last year, who was humanoid. They went to the rival org. People were like, meh. It's like, what? The back-to-back champion of last year left for the rival org, and no one gave a fuck. That's sad. That's pathetic. Are there like
and then they didn't do anything to try to hype up their new players. Like they should have hyped up Unforgiven. Like it was obvious he would be great. Like he was.
Yeah,
but
he was fire.
Let's not talk about Reeker, but I mean, still Unforgiven. Why didn't they hype him up? It's like that would have so like weird. Pushed in the blow for their fans. But
that's my thing. It's just that. Mad Lions have such little fans, even though they've won back-to-back splits. So I think it's fans going like, okay, maybe it was just a fluke they won 2 titles, and I want to see more consistency out of them. That was one comment that I saw on Reddit. I want to see more consistency out of Mad Lions. They won 2 titles! Most orgs in this league only won outside of G2 Fnatic, has been what? Alliance? From like, when I first started playing the game, it was 8 years ago. They've won more titles than people with more fans in the orgs. Team Vitality have more fans. Rogue have more fans. Misfits. Oh, sorry. I'll probably say these 2 right here. Rogue and Team Vitality obviously have more fans. We know they do, right? And they've not won shit. But Mad Lions have, and they have less people watching them. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's crazy. That's ridiculous. Because people say, oh, yeah, I want to be a fan of an org that wins. Here you go. No, I have this. Fucking goalpost moving motherfuckers.
Yes, and again, it's like, it's like the social media team again. Like when they lost Humanoid, why didn't they try to at least like explain who the new players are to like hype them up, so then the fans would be like more, more like hype for the season. But no, they did none of that. So fans were just cautious, and then they had that poor first split because of Reeker, and then it's like they all jump ship. It's like. You need to do the opposite. It's like when Cloud9 lost Jensen, because he that bitch, because of the substitutions.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, they brought in Niski. So you're like, oh, Niski's this hot prodigy from EU. No, he was like their fucking like 25th option, and he was like the 7th or 6th best LEC mid that year. He like went to NA once and saved like. One team from relegations. I forgot what team that was. I'll look it up. But fucking hell, and they hype, and he was pretty much just played like Zoe and shit before joining Cloud9. So like, no, it was nowhere near that. But they explained who he was, like his potential and everything. So people got more excited. Like they lost Jensen for like the 7th best LEC mid from his split, who's like a Zoe one trick. Who had like little hope, but then they did shit. So then fans were on board with it, and like, yeah, he's gonna be like the 2nd best mid in NA. He's gonna shit on fucking Jensen in finals, and then he did basically, because they he did play better, and they should have fucking won that split in summer in 2019. But whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year in 2020 and stuff. Obviously,
because dude, everyone always says, "I have to be a fan of an org that wins," and that makes sense. So you want to be a fan of an org that shows you they want to compete at the highest level, they want to go to worlds, or they want to win titles. That's fine.
But it was envious, yes, envious.
But then if an org does that and they still don't have fans, then that's not the reason why. You just don't like this brand. You don't just like these people or something. There has to be a reason why. I don't know. Maybe it's the players they're not really truly invested into because they don't have any like long-standing players. The longest-standing player right now on this team is what? Kaiser and Aloye and Arma. Those are like just Kaiser and Aloye. They're like the longest-standing ones right now. But no, it'll be Kaiser because Aloye came after Shadow, right? Yeah, Aloye came after Shadow and Arma came in that same year as well. So yeah, it's really just been Kaiser, unless people just aren't a fan of Kaiser, which I don't think you should not be. He's had some okay. He's been pretty much a top 3 support in the LEC for.
Why would you not be a fan of Kaiser? I don't
like. It's my thing. I really don't know why this org doesn't have
like even when he was even when Mad Lions didn't make even last split when it was probably like his weakest split in agency, he was still like top 4 support. Why would they not be a fan of Kaiser?
Let me look up Mad Lions. Also, I got to get a Mad Lions jersey too. I don't have one. I had to mark my collection.
Well, I thought you did.
I don't have one yet.
RNG?
I don't have one yet. I want to get the new IG one for my collection too. Soon.
I mean, I'm not into collecting jerseys without names. I mean, whatever.
The custom, like they make content, but like I like.
Barely anyone's seen it. Jesus Christ, 32 likes.
Fuck. 32, like the view. That's pretty good. That's pretty solid right here. That's pretty good.
I mean, that's all right. Yeah, I mean,
pretty good. Yeah. I mean, my thing here with are these okay? This might be. I'm not gonna be mean. I might be mean here. Are these guys interesting? Because a lot of people like players that are like interesting. Brash.
100% isn't he had a huge following from Turkey? You know, we saw like the social media presence with him, and like in his first year when he won the splits, like it was huge. I don't know why I didn't utilize that more. It's like when fucking Vitality not utilizing those names they have for like social media and content and getting people hyped coming into this year. It's dumb.
Like, I know people in EU talk about new orgs coming in and just kind of sitting at the bottom. Mad Lions have been anything but that, though. In 2021, they made a really hard surge to win a title or go far. And next year,
wasn't last split the only time they missed playoffs since coming in?
Yeah. Like a lot of fans always say they want
and then that's the same thing with Rogue, wasn't it? Or am I when their first
outside
split?
Of Rogue's very first split, they've always made playoffs.
Yeah, so it's like, why aren't there more fans of these? Like,
I just don't get it. Like, EU fans are just weird. They want and say certain things, but when they actually get them, they don't want them, which is like, that means they're just saying this shit just for vanity. You know, I told you this before too. People just say that shit because it sounds nice. They don't actually want it.
And then, listen, I know how their rosters and their team has obviously went since joining LEC, but still, when they were announced for a spot, Astralis, why weren't there like more fans supporting them once they came in with, like, you realize how big Astralis is? Like, why weren't there more fans?
Warren brings up Astralis has a ton of fans. Not in League. Where are they at? I don't see them anywhere.
Like, why weren't more people like becoming fans of them the moment they joined LEC? Like, it doesn't matter what happened after and with their shitty rosters. Like, when they first came in, like, that's a huge fucking org. Why weren't there more fans that, you know, like, I'll cheer for Astralis. I don't. And they make content. They make solid content that actually, like, they explain a lot shit more than like any other orgs really in LEC. With like how they do things and everything, like they're pretty honest, like they're pretty interesting actually.
Yeah, like I just don't get it with a lot of these people when they say they want these things out of esport orgs and like LEC or LCS, and they get them, and it's like, or dude, did you see what I tweeted out this past week? How in the world can Cloud9 perform very well at Worlds for NA standards at Worlds consistently year after year after year after year, year after year after year, completely getting out of groups and shit? But TL and TSM get audience chants, even though people claim to our faces that people they hate TSM. What is? I don't know. Maybe I'm in the Twilight Zone. Maybe I'm just being fucking lied to.
Yeah, I don't know. What? Tell me one thing TSM has ever accomplished, or Team Liquid has accomplished, besides that one shitty MSI. I'm not counting that MSI. That was literally TL literally went 4-6, and they literally just made it out because IG. It's like they went to a karaoke the night before, like, it's Team Liquid, and took just a bunch of shots of sake, and then woke up wasted, and then just got 3-1. All right, I'm not counting that, and especially after that 3-0 against G2. What have they actually accomplished internationally? Which is the only thing that mainly matters. And what about TSM besides that one fucking year with brothers Svenskeren, which I'm also not fucking counting because of that. But and especially when they've all had first seeds, all have like first seeds every time, the weakest groups, and they still accomplish nothing.
Yeah, like my thing with some of the I just don't get it. Like, how can Cloud9 not get audience chance, but TSM does? You know how badly TSM is
the only time I heard otherwise was in the year where in 2019 where they didn't make it out because they were like stuck in the group. But the EU fans did give them a chance because the real life EU fans are a bunch of fucking brainlets like the in real life NA fans, and they actually realized their fucking success in history. So they gave them chance over the other NA teams at Worlds in 2019.
People fucking cheering for Team Liquid. Like, what the fuck has TL ever done outside of that MSI? And that MSI run they had was great. I'm not denying that. It was a great run from them. It was amazing from them, actually. Yeah. But, like, what has TL ever done? This fucking super team has been a fucking joke. And a bad one at that. See how badly they're playing this week? It was fucking horrible. Like, I just don't get it. Like, how does Cloud9 not get cheers, but TSM does? And people know how bad TSM can be, actually. People know how badly run TSM actually is. But it is what it is. It's whatever. You also can't get a Mad Lions jersey? I was trying to see, like, why can't I get a Mad Lions jersey? Oh, because they're a Hispanic brand. Oh, fuck me. Let me see if this one place will have them. Mad Lions LEC jersey. Let me see. Where could I probably buy them? The official store featuring Mad Lions. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see if this will do it. Nope, it's all in Spanish. All in that Tropica.
Jesus, fuck. I mean... whatever. Fans are stupid. This is League. A League is a bunch of brainlets. What do you expect? Team Liquid lost. Yeah, if they just beat Machi, they would have made it out of groups probably, or they at least would have been tied like 4-2 or something. I forgot what it was exactly. Like, yeah, they would have been like tied 4-2 or something at worst if they just beat Machi.
All right, so let's go over our predictions and we'll wrap it up. All right, so our predictions this week for the LEC 2022 Spring Split Week 7. This is a really important match right here. I think Misfits, I'll say Misfits win this game. Vitality win. Misfits, Vitality, SK Gaming, Mad Lions, and I think G2 beat Excel. Saturday, I have Vitality, Excel, Mad Lions, Rogue, and G2 versus Fnatic, which is whether they're going to promote as a match of the week to you. I think G2 walk away with this win. I think they win 2-0 this week. I hope.
If they promote that for match of the week, then I'm off in myself. This is what they always do. They just go off of the old orgs. It's dumb. How would that ever be a match of the week with how the team's been playing? All right, it's not even good for a playoff spot, really, with what Fnatic's been doing. They're pretty much fucking hopeless. Holy fuck.
Yeah, like an important matchup, guys, for a match of the week right now would be a match right here. Let me show you guys.
Again, Misfits versus Astralis, or
Misfits versus Astralis. G2 versus XL would even be a bit better because then they're neck and neck.
Yeah, again, or even Rogue versus Mad versus, because that's the last chance probably for like Rogue to get like first seed. If they lose to Mad, then it's over. Yeah,
if Rogue lose to Mad right now, they're most likely not getting second seed.
That or first seed. They could still get first seed if they beat them.
Yeah.
So it's important there, and then fuck.
Misfits versus Mad. If Misfits go 2-0 this week, they're in a prime position to potentially make playoffs because they'll be 9-6.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's go for the predictions.
Yeah.
I'll go. I guess. Fuck. Oh, your thing's in the way.
What the fuck? I don't know why it does that. What the hell? Go away.
Now go to like the start. Okay, there. Okay, I'll save the first one for last. Okay, I'll go Vitality. I'll say SK.
Yes.
I'll go with a rogue upset. G2, and then I'll go Vitality as well. Fuck it. Why not? Let's let this shit show go with Vitality. XL. Fuck. I'll go Mad. Rogue. And then I'll predict a Fnatic upset because I'm on drugs, and then I'll say Astralis upset Misfits in the first one, which will be my match of the week, and yeah, I'll say Misfits goes 0-2, falls back down a bit here.
All right, guys, that is it. I'm gonna be doing my prep for the LCS episode we will have tomorrow. The LCS episode tomorrow, if you guys are interested in watching us talk about the LCS, that'll be tomorrow. Let me see what I'll give you guys that time. Time for the LCS tomorrow is 7 p.m. PST. So that's the better time to have that episode come out, which would be 7 p.m. PST. So there you guys go with that. We had a great show today. See you guys later. Like, comment, and subscribe. Always, if you're watching us on a replay, hit the subscribe button. Definitely helps out. Hit the like button as well if you enjoyed the show. It's been great.
If you don't enjoy the show, though, then you probably enjoy watching Monday Night League.
Monday Night League was amazing. Fuck off. And then it was so cringe about Monday Night League. Everyone was bitching about it on Hotline League, and I was like, dude, holy fuck. It's not that good. Just shut the fuck up about it. They're gonna get rid of it anyway. If the fans are complaining that much about a segment like that, just get rid of it.
I mean, I didn't like the idea of with it and just trying to make it into like, again, just them continuing trying to make it like fucking NFL garbage American sports. But I did kind of like having like a third day for something and like at nighttime. Honestly, it was kind of chill, but I wish they would have more like days at nighttime with games. But so I was all right with it. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, like I just hated seeing people just complain about the same shit over and over again. Because then you have people who wanted it, but then when they get it, it's League fans are just like really cringing weird.
Yeah, no. What did you think of like the full stand-in things, like combined in the two splits together for the records? What do you think about that? Would you say that was worse or?
I like that actually, because people keep saying that people keep saying that spring split doesn't matter. But if you combine the records for summer and spring, then it definitely.
Why do you think they took it away after the 1 year?
Because I'd imagine it's because teams felt like if they had a really bad spring split, then that means summer split doesn't matter for them. Because if you start off that bad in spring, essentially you won't be able to crawl out of that hole. But it's like people ask for a spring split to matter, but then when they do something to make spring split matter, people don't want it. It's just a weird thing with League fans where they say they want something, but then in reality, when they get it, they don't want it. It's like, then what did you really want to begin with?
And also, when it comes to like champion points not being a thing anymore, again, I'm cool with that. Like again, spring split, like shouldn't hold that many that much importance again in a world spot. Like when 100 Thieves got it in like 2018 or something, or 2019. But I do think that I think the two teams that got like top 2 or like top 3 in spring, I think they should have like a certain thing where they do get a second chance, because that would just be weird if like the top 2 teams in spring were just out that easily. I do think they would at least be deserving of a second chance, sort of like a regional gauntlet thing. But I mean, otherwise, I would agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, guys, that's my last thing to say about the LEC right now. It's really, really close right now for the LEC. Right now, it's super, super neck and neck. It's just so close. Like I like when a competition is this close. Sometimes it's always kind of boring to see like just two teams dominate everything, but this is always fun to see. It's always fun to have.
It's not been two teams that all dominating everything. It's been a shit show in LEC. Like there's just so many teams neck and neck.
Yeah, like teams that you predict to win go 0-2, but then they'll go like 1-1. Then you'll have some teams drop games to teams that they shouldn't be dropping games to. Then you have teams that shouldn't be winning, beating teams that are better than them. It's just like, holy fuck, the whole split is just crazy. You know, like if imagine if Mad Lions win 3 splits and people say, I still don't know if I want to be a Mad Lions fan. It'd be better to be a Mad Lions fan right now than be a Fnatic fan. I mean, Fnatic hasn't won anything in a while, but you know, it's not always about trophies. It's more like this org has proven they can win the league. And people say, I don't know if I can be a fan of this org. Then I don't know what you want then. I don't know what you want. People say, I want different teams, not Fnatic and G2. Another team does it. They don't want that. People just like hearing the sound of their own fucking voice is what they want to do. Or what they want to say to you guys. I don't really personally know. Maybe I'm just venting too hard. But that's pretty much it, guys. See you guys later. See you tomorrow when we wrap up the week with the LCS episode, and then we will get you guys that